Now that we have our initial take on our conceptual model, what we wish to do now is start adding in our attributes. We'll begin by looking at sale. To add a sale, you right-click and select New Column. This is where you're going to now enter the attribute name. It is always a very good idea to include the entity's name in the attribute name so that there becomes no confusion later. For example, the first attribute that we want to add is a date. Now, if we simply said date here, we could find other entities in our model at other times that also have a date. Then when someone comes back and says, date is incorrect, we would have to go, which date are you talking about? So we want to be quite specific. So we'll call this the sale underscore date. Again, it is a very common practice to not have any spaces in your name, to use underscores instead of spaces. The reason is quite simple. When we have a space, it can be confusing as to whether we're talking about two attributes or just one. This keeps it very simple and clear. So we have a sale date. Pressing Enter gives us a new attribute right away. So we can start entering the next attribute. We know that our sale happens on a specific date, and we also know that it has to include some kind of food item. So it's a sale food item is our next line to indicate what it was for. Part of that sale, which is rather an important part as far as the company is concerned, and certainly as far as our driver is concerned, is how much that sale is worth. So we have a sale value. Again, you could use your own words here, and you're encouraged to use your own words, things that make sense to you. Whatever that word is, whatever your description is, needs to be very clear when somebody's looking at it. So here we have sale. If I click outside of sale, I see I have 3 attributes at the moment. At this point, you could say, gee, I can't think of anything else that needs to go in there. Perhaps I might discover something later. That's fine. You can always come back and add it in. Because we have now increased the size of our entity, you'll notice that our symbol for the connection now looks a little cramped. Simply grab our sale and stretch it out a little bit to give it some room and make it a little more intelligible. Can you think of something else that should be included in sale? To help you think of that, think about that receipt that you're handing the customer. What's on it? What does it show? Each of those things are potentially an attribute. So I'll give you some time to think about it. Then we can come back and complete the remainder of our diagram.